What if I told you that the reason he keeps pulling away has nothing to do with your looks, your value, or whether you are enough? What if the real reason he keeps thinking about you begins with something so simple that you could say it in just 3 words? 3 words, not a paragraph, not a desperate text, not why are you ignoring me? Not do you still love me? Not what are we? Just 3 powerful words that can completely change the energy between you and a man. Because when you stop trying to force someone to think about you and you start leaving an emotional impression instead, something changes. He starts remembering you when you are not there. He starts hearing your voice in his head. He starts replaying conversations. He starts wondering what you are doing. And suddenly, the woman who was trying so hard to get his attention becomes the woman he cannot stop thinking about. But understand this, the power is not in the 3 words themselves. The power is in the woman who says them. Because if you say powerful words while secretly begging for a reaction, they lose their strength. But when you say them from confidence, peace, and self-respect, they hit differently. The 3 words are, I understand you. That's it. I understand you. Now you might be thinking, how can those 3 words make a man think about me? Because most people are constantly trying to be heard. Very few people make someone feel understood. And there is a huge difference. A man can meet someone who tells him how attractive he is. He can meet someone who compliments his success. He can meet someone who constantly tells him how much she wants him. But when he meets a woman who makes him feel genuinely understood, that experience stays with him. Because being understood feels rare. Think about it. When someone looks beyond your words and recognizes what you are really feeling, you remember that person. When someone doesn't immediately judge you, criticize you, or demand something from you, you remember that person. When someone gives you room to be human without making you feel weak for it, you remember that person. That is why I understand you can be more powerful than 100 messages saying, I miss you. Because I miss you tells him what you feel. I understand you makes him feel something. And emotions create memories. You have to understand something about attraction. You cannot chase someone into missing you. You cannot text someone into appreciating you. You cannot convince someone to recognize your value by repeatedly explaining your value. Sometimes your greatest power comes from what you stop doing. Stop over-explaining. Stop sending 5 messages because he didn't answer 1. Stop asking why his energy changed every single time he becomes distant. Stop trying to prove that you are the woman he should choose. You don't need to audition for a position in someone's life. The right man does not need a sales presentation to understand your worth. And this is where those 3 words become powerful. Imagine he tells you he's been stressed. Instead of immediately saying, why didn't you tell me? You say, I understand you. Then you give him space. Imagine he tells you he needs some time to himself. Instead of panicking and assuming he doesn't care anymore, you say, I understand you. And then you continue living your life. Imagine he is struggling to express what he feels. Instead of interrogating him until he gives you the answer you want, you say, I understand you. Do you see the difference? You are not chasing. You are not demanding. You are not manipulating. You are simply showing emotional maturity. And emotional maturity is attractive because it creates safety. But don't misunderstand me. I understand you does not mean I'll accept anything from you. It does not mean you tolerate disrespect. It does not mean you allow someone to disappear for weeks and then return whenever they are bored. It does not mean you abandon your standards just to keep a man comfortable. Understanding someone does not require losing yourself. You can understand him and still walk away. You can understand his struggles and still protect your peace. You can understand why he behaves a certain way without accepting behavior that hurts you. That is real strength. A woman with self-respect doesn't need to punish a man for being distant. She simply refuses to chase distance. She doesn't need to beg someone to communicate. She communicates her standard once, then watches his actions, because actions reveal what words try to hide. And when you become that woman, something happens. Your energy changes. You stop waking up wondering whether he texted. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. You stop analyzing every little emoji. You stop wondering who he follows. You stop competing with women you have never met. You stop asking, what do I have to do to make him choose me? And you start asking a much more powerful question. Is he showing me that he deserves access to me? That question changes everything, because love should not require you to become smaller. Attention should not require you to abandon your dignity. And affection should never require you to chase someone who has already decided to walk away. Let him experience your absence. Let him notice your silence. Let him discover that your attention was not something he owned. Your attention was something you chose to give. And when you stop giving it away so freely, he may begin to recognize its value. But here's the part most women miss. You don't disappear as a strategy to make him chase you. You step back because you finally understand yourself. There is a difference. If you disappear just to manipulate him, you are still emotionally controlled by his reaction. But if you step back because you value your peace, you are free. That is the energy that changes everything. And sometimes, when a woman becomes comfortable with her own company, a man begins to notice something he never noticed before. She doesn't need him. She wants him. And there is tremendous power in that difference. A woman who needs attention will chase it. A woman who knows her worth can walk away from anything that consistently disturbs her peace. That is the woman who stays on a man's mind, not because she played games, not because she made him jealous, not because she pretended not to care, but because she gave him something rare. She gave him an experience of peace, confidence, understanding, and self-respect. And once a man experiences that, he may compare every future connection to it. Because you can forget someone's words, you can forget their clothes, you can forget the exact conversations, but you rarely forget how someone made you feel. So the next time you have the opportunity to say those 3 words, don't say them from fear. Say them from strength. I understand you. And then let your actions speak louder than your text. Because sometimes the most powerful message you can send a man is not another message. It is the calmness that follows it. It is the life you continue living. It is the confidence you carry when he is not around. And it is the realization that you were never created to chase someone into loving you. You were created to be loved without begging for it. But now let me take this deeper, because the real secret isn't simply saying, I understand you. The real secret is knowing when to say it, how to say it, and what to do after you say it. Because your words only become powerful when your behavior agrees with them. If you tell him, I understand you, and then spend the next 3 hours demanding answers, checking his online status, sending follow-up messages, and asking whether he still cares, you have canceled out the message. You told him you understood him, but your actions told him you were afraid of losing him. And fear has a completely different energy. A man can feel the difference. Confidence says, I care about you, but I will be okay without you. Fear says, please don't leave me, because I don't know who I am without you. Never give someone the responsibility of determining your worth. You have to settle that question before they ever enter your life. You are valuable before he notices you. You are valuable while he loves you. And you remain valuable even if he walks away. That is the mindset that protects your heart. And that is also the mindset that makes your presence unforgettable. Because when a woman knows she can survive without a man, she doesn't have to manipulate him into staying. She can love him freely. She can communicate honestly. She can give affection without begging for affection in return. And she can walk away when the relationship no longer honors her. That's power. Now imagine the next time he pulls away. Maybe his replies become shorter. Maybe he suddenly becomes busy. Maybe you feel like something has changed. The old version of you might panic. You might send another message, then another. You might ask, did I do something? You might start blaming yourself. Don't. Pause, breathe, and remember who you are. You don't have to react to every change in someone's behavior. Sometimes people are genuinely busy. Sometimes they're dealing with personal problems. Sometimes they need space. And sometimes their interest has changed. Your job isn't to control which one it is. Your job is to observe. Let his behavior give you information. And if he tells you he needs space, you can calmly say, I understand you. Then give him that space. No punishment, no dramatic goodbye. No emotional performance. No social media post designed to make him jealous. Just peace. And then you return your attention to your own life. Go to work. Build your goals. Take care of yourself. Spend time with people who love you. Exercise. Learn something. God creates something, law again. Live, because your life should never stop simply because one person became uncertain. And here's where something interesting can happen. When you stop feeling every silence, the silence starts speaking. He may start wondering why you aren't chasing him. He may wonder if you have moved on. He may remember the conversations you had. He may remember how comfortable he felt around you. He may remember your laughter. He may remember the way you listened. He may remember that you weren't constantly demanding something from him. And suddenly, his own mind starts doing the work that you were previously doing for him. You were trying to keep yourself in his thoughts. Now his memories may do it naturally. That's the difference. You cannot force someone to miss you, but you can become someone worth remembering, and that begins with how you carry yourself. Stop believing that being constantly available makes you more valuable. Your value does not increase because you answer within 10 seconds. Your value does not decrease because you take time to respond. Your value comes from who you are. Your character, your confidence, your boundaries, your kindness, your standards, your purpose, your ability to love without losing yourself. That is what makes a woman powerful. And if he comes back, don't immediately celebrate as if his return proves your worth. His return proves only that he returned. What matters is what he does next. Does he communicate better? Does he show consistency? Does he respect your boundaries? Does he make an effort? Does he show through actions that he values having you in his life? Because you should never be impressed by temporary attention. Be impressed by consistency. Anybody can send, hey, anybody can say, I miss you. Anybody can come back when they're lonely. But real love is demonstrated through patterns. Consistency is the language of serious intention. So if he returns, don't punish him, but don't immediately hand him the same access he had before. Let him earn trust through action. Let him demonstrate that he understands your value. And if he doesn't, keep moving, because your life is too precious to spend waiting for somebody to decide whether you're worth choosing. There is another important lesson here. Sometimes you are not supposed to make him think about you more. Sometimes you're supposed to stop thinking about him so much. Ride that again in your mind. Maybe the breakthrough isn't getting him to chase you. Maybe the breakthrough is becoming so focused on your own life that whether he chases you or not no longer controls your mood. That is freedom. When you stop obsessing over his attention, you get your attention back. And your attention is one of the most valuable things you own. Where your attention goes, your life goes. If all day you're thinking about what he is doing, you're giving him pieces of your life without him even being present. Take those pieces back, put them into your dreams, put them into your health, put them into your career, put them into your family, put them into your creativity, put them into becoming the woman you always knew you could become. Because the greatest revenge against being taken for granted is not making someone regret losing you. It's becoming so deeply connected to yourself that their regret is no longer necessary. Let him think, let him wonder, let him remember. But don't sit around waiting for his realization. Your future cannot be built around someone else's awakening. You have your own awakening to experience. And maybe this is the moment you finally realize that you don't have to chase love. You don't have to compete for attention. You don't have to convince someone to see what you bring to the table. The right person will not require you to constantly prove your worth. And when you understand that, your entire approach to relationships changes. You stop asking, how do I make him obsessed with me? You start asking, how do I build a relationship where both of us choose each other freely? That's a healthier question because you don't want obsession. You want genuine connection. You don't want temporary attention. You want consistency. You don't want someone who comes running only when you disappear. You want someone who stays because he genuinely values you. And that is why those three words matter. I understand you. They don't mean I'll tolerate everything. They mean I hear you. They mean I don't need to control you. They mean I respect your humanity. And when paired with strong boundaries, they communicate something incredibly powerful. I can love you without losing myself. That is the energy you should carry. Because the most attractive thing about a woman isn't that every man wants her. It's that she doesn't abandon herself just because one man doesn't. She knows who she is. She knows what she deserves. She knows what she will accept. And she knows what she will walk away from. So if you're dealing with a man right now who has become distant, don't panic. Don't chase. Don't beg. Don't send an emotional essay at midnight. Take a breath. Look at the situation clearly. If communication is needed, communicate once with honesty and dignity. If he needs space, give him space. If he wants to be with you, allow him to demonstrate it. And if he chooses to leave, let him leave. Because sometimes losing someone is not the end of your story. Sometimes it's the moment your story finally begins. The woman you become after choosing yourself is stronger than the woman who kept begging to be chosen. And one day, you may look back and realize that the moment you stopped chasing him wasn't the moment you lost him. It was the moment you found yourself. So remember those 3 words. I understand you. Say them when they are genuine. Say them without fear. Say them without expectation. And after you say them, don't chase the reaction. Let your calmness finish the sentence. Let your actions prove your confidence. Let your life continue. Because when you become comfortable with your own worth, you stop trying to convince other people of it. And that's when your energy changes. That's when your presence becomes different. That's when your silence becomes peaceful instead of desperate. That's when your attention becomes valuable because you no longer give it away just to receive validation. And that's when a man may look back and realize she was different. Not because you played a game, not because you manipulated him, not because you pretended not to care, but because you care without losing yourself. You love without begging. You understood without tolerating disrespect. And you walked away when necessary without destroying yourself in the process. Never forget this. You don't need to be unforgettable to everyone. You only need to be unforgettable to yourself. Because when you finally become someone you respect, someone you trust, and someone you refuse to abandon, you stop living for someone else's attention. You start living from your own power. And that is the kind of woman a healthy man doesn't just notice. He respects, he remembers, and he doesn't easily forget. So don't chase his mind. Build a life that fills your own mind with purpose. Don't chase his attention. Become deeply attentive to yourself. Don't beg him to see your value. See it first. And if he comes back, let his actions speak. If he stays, let his consistency prove it. If he leaves, let your strength carry you forward. Because your worth was never sitting in his hands. It was always in yours. And the moment you truly understand that, you won't need 3 magic words to make him think about you. Your presence, your peace, your confidence, and your self-respect will say everything for you. So remember this. I understand you. Say it with confidence, not desperation. Say it because you genuinely understand him, not because you're afraid he'll leave. And then do something even more powerful. Give him space to feel your absence. Don't chase. Don't beg. Don't over-explain. Don't try to force his attention. Keep living. Keep growing. Keep becoming the woman you were meant to be. Because the woman who knows her worth doesn't need to convince a man to choose her. She lets his actions speak. If he values you, he'll come closer. If he misses you, he'll reach out. And if he doesn't, you still haven't lost your greatest possession. You haven't lost yourself. Never forget, your power isn't in making him obsessed with you. Your power is in becoming so secure in who you are that you no longer need anyone's attention to feel valuable. Say those 3 words. I understand you. Then let your confidence, your silence, and your self-respect speak for the rest. Because sometimes the most unforgettable woman isn't the one who chased the hardest. She's the one who knew when to stop chasing and finally chose herself.